Hi guys, to continue where we left off, let's create a new folder. So right click, add new folder. We're going to name this images. Inside of images, right click, add, and then put existing item. In the download link, I've included images, a zip folder that contains images for the little ship that we're going to be moving around our screen. Let me navigate it to it. And we're going to have these different images. So let's just go ahead and add all of them. I got these images from, whoops, that's my email, opengameart.org. It's just a just an open source website for images, and you guys can feel free to use this for your own images until we get to tutorials where I'll show you how to create images, kind of like these. We'll show you how to do the tile sets and how to create these sprites in later tutorials, more in the intermediate and advanced. Now that we've added the image into our solution, now it's time to draw it onto the screen. So pull up our game 1 code, and what we're going to do is add a texture to the class. So texture 2D. We're just going to name it texture. As we spoke about earlier, all loading of graphics, sounds, and other content needs to be done via the load content method. So let's go to the load content method, and what we're going to do is we're going to begin calling to get our sprite. So what we're going to say is texture equals content.load texture 2D, and it's going to be at images, capital, at images, and then we have the name itself. Oops. With the images here, you actually don't have to put the .png. So cartoon ship, I want to use purple, would suffice. Put that in the parentheses. Now to add this, we need to go to the draw method. Down here, let's change this from cornflower blue to black. And what we're going to do, before these, let's change up our code. Before this clear call, let's add sprite batch.begin so that we can begin collecting our images. Sprite batch.draw, and we're going to write texture vector 2.0. I will go into more detail of what these things mean in 1 second. Color white, and then we are going to end our getting of this sprite batch here. So let's just group these together. Delete the folder I just made you create. I put it inside the wrong portion of the project. It's supposed to be in the content. So right click, add the folder, and then once you right click and add that folder, add existing items, and then find all of the cartoon ships. If we click on these, Let's click on purple, and then go to View, and then Other Pages, Properties. What happens when XNA gets a new file, like a PNG in this case, it takes it into its own kind of pipeline. So essentially it removes the need for us to type cartoonblue.png. So instead we could just name this asset purple. We can name this one green, and this one, I already named that one blue, red, and then yellow, to save ourselves typing. And how we add this in is texture equals content dot load texture 2D, and then we say at images, and then we can say red. Make sure you have a semicolon at the end. To show you the differences in code, if we run our code now, it's not going to look right because I did make an error, and I'll show you the error. When I said to put this drawing of our sprite before the call of this coloring, what happens is our ship gets covered up by this drawing of the black canvas. So what we do is we change it so that this call to the sprite batch to get that image is after this. So go ahead and hit the green arrow, and there's our ship. You can change it. Oh, cool. Alright, guys. If we scroll back down here and look at these properties, this texture is this is the type of object that you'll have whenever you call this. This is specifying type, this is setting up the content to be loaded in, and then this down is just specifying where the image is. After that, we go to draw it once we've loaded it, and how you do that is it opens up the channel to basically accept this PNG. Then we have this vector 2, which this is where it's always drawn in the upper left corner. So to make our image centered, what we can do is replace our draw method with we do texture, and then we say new vector. Then what we do from there is we say window client bounds dot width, and this is just detecting the width of the window, and then we're texture dot width divided by 2, comma, window dot client bounds dot height divided by 2 minus the height of the texture. I know that looks a little bit messy, guys, but basically it's taking the width and the height finding it, dividing it in two so that it would be in the center of it, and then minusing the height and the width of the image and then placing it in the center. Which we have a really large image, so we're going to have to play with the height and the width of it, or resize our image to make it smaller. See how it's more in the center now? Alright guys, that's all the time we have for today. In our next tutorial we're going to work with getting the image to move around on the screen, and we're also going to get a different size of image because it was very large. Alright guys, I'll see you guys then.